Because this is what is something that is also holding us back. There's no training program. Why don't you train yourself? Because you can train yourself. Papa has excelled beyond, I mean, most people's wildest of dreams. And he can be complimented because others can join him. Because it's a success story. What I don't see most of the time happening in this country is that we don't copy success stories. We copy, for whatever reason, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Why, I don't know. But this is one thing that we can all be proud of, we can all emulate, because I think this could be a recruiting ground. Papa can be used by the Federation and of course the Referees Association to be the ambassador right now. They would recruit dozens of potential referees who would take up the game very early and excel even beyond Papa, because we can.
Yeah, and I'm not cutting you short. I was at his training ground a couple of days back at the Gold Project, where I was amazed to see how Papa is training the younger ones who are coming up, and they spoke highly of him, saying that he impart whatever he trained, especially with his FIFA courses. You know, whatever he trained, he comes and impart that to them. Yeah, and we have a lot of them that are coming up. You know, some of them were in Ghana officiating the 20 World Cups. You know, we have a lot of FIFA.
You have to equate to what Howard Webb is experiencing in England compared to what Papa is in Gambia. Howard is blessed with the highest level of, I mean, technology. He would go into Loughborough University, where you have scientists working with him, trying to test whatever it is, putting him to the highest category. But Papa is not blessed with that, but he's yet still is able to excel. Excellent. And he's doing it in the open grounds. Howard has to go into, a hot chamber where he has to train himself. But he's lucky to be under this climate, which is kind of warm. Blessed we are in the sense that, you can equate to what's happening or what's in England. But you have to at least raise your game to that level. And this is what, for me, is really, I mean, if we want to talk about Papa, it would take about the whole program.
Yeah, the whole program, exactly. Yes. You're talking of Howard Webb. In fact, the other day I was listening to Sky Sports News, and they went to his training ground, doing a build-up on him and see how he's training for the World Cup. Yeah. So, talking about Papa's success stories, let's just refresh our minds to one of his tournaments that he officiated in 2013 in South Africa, where he was in charge of one of the most difficult games of that tournament. Let's go with that story. Cup of Nations currently underway in South Africa. The 29th edition of the continent's biggest football tournament is gradually building up to expectations. At the end of the first round of matches in the group stages, fans of all the 16 participating countries have now seen their teams play their opening matches. While one country, though, whose passionate football fans continue to await their team's first appearance in the most prestigious African football tournament, is the Gambia. The Scorpions have tried on numerous occasions, but failed on both attempts, leaving fans in this football-mad country with no choice but to support other countries. However, despite the Gambia's absence from the tournament, the country still have something to be proud of in the tournament. Our central referee Bakary Papa Gassama continued to fly the Gambian flag on the international stage in the absence of the Scorpions. The country's top football referee made his second consecutive appearance in the African Nations Cup on Tuesday, when he officiated the All-North African clash between Tunisia and Algeria at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg.
It'll be very interesting to see how this one pans out. The referee is from Gambia. It's Papa Gassama. He'll be assisted by Ogba Mariam Angussam of Eritrea and Peter Adibe from Nigeria. There have already been upsets in this tournament. This one, Pat.
As he led the two teams out of the dugout onto the pitch, the whole country were united behind him, hoping and praying for this bright son of the soil to have good officiating of the game. With Tunisia and Algeria, two forces in African football, meeting for the first time in the history of this tournament, a lot was stake in this North African derby, and with the two sides boasting of an array of exciting talents, such as Valencia midfielder Sofiane Fegoli and former Esperance star Yusuf Masakni, made this game one of the standout ties of the group stages.
Gambian referee looks at his watch, prepares to start play in this last game of the first round of matches.
This match was never going to be an easy one to call, neither for Papa Gassama nor any other referee. But amidst a rough encounter, the Gambian referee did extremely well to control the game as he got most of the key decisions right.
Yeah, don't give him the yellow card, ref. It's a bit harsh, don't. Well, that's better.
Yeah, Algerian Belkacem is down, and yellow card for Al-Bawi.
He was earlier in contact with the big centre back. And when I was asking to not give a yellow card, and this time, because he did the same earlier, and this time he just called him.
The tension of the game showed no signs of abating even after the break. But Papa was equally up to the innermost task, and his performance on the night left many happy. One of them was Sandong, one of the country's most experienced tacticians and one of the tournament's analysts for Gambia Radio and Television Services.
Papa did extremely well. Okay. He did extremely well because if you are not experienced enough, even though Papa is playing well, but he's not experienced enough. Okay. But he handled the game very maturely. Okay.
The game ended 1-0 in favor of Tunisia, with a spectacular last gasp strike from Yusuf Masakni, giving the Carthage Eagles a famous victory over the Desert Foxes. Tunisia left the Royal Bafokeng Stadium as victors. But it was equally a victory for Papa Gassama and the Gambia, as the pride of the nation once again made his country proud.
In 2012,
in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. And you see, just as a complement to what we've been talking about in here, that was a very difficult game because North African countries, the micro countries, are very difficult to officiate, and this was a deciding game. And you can imagine the intimidation and everything that is there, the trickery, the simulations, but thank God, you know, Papa have not been exposed. And as Sang rightly said in there, the experience is not there. But the performance is really, really one that stand out for me. And, you know, we can't just fault Papa. I cannot say much in the sense that this morning I had in a chat with Levin Cham, and we said, you know what, I only hope and pray that Papa goes and experience a hitch-free World Cup and returns to this country, because that is worth celebrating for me than any other thing that we will be howling about, because it's not necessary. Papa for us is the candidate for this World Cup. And I don't want to talk about what it is that probably I am here for, because it's just in the manner in which Africell also goes about to bring the World Cup to this country, and perhaps we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, I couldn't agree with Musa more. It's very important for him to have a very hitch-free World Cup, because sometimes, you know, some key decisions, if you got them wrong in a very decisive game, you know, they might haunt you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, it might make people easily forget the achievement that you've already made. So let's hope and pray that our brother will have a very, very successful and a hitch-free World Cup, and I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, and the whole nation is behind him. He's got the blessing of the president, the vice president. Everybody's praying for him. We was talking about him. Let's hope that, like you said, he have a hitch-free World Cup in Brazil, and that's worth celebrating.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We have to work that out, how to celebrate Papa, because the thing for me is that sportsmen and women in this game should really look up to be celebrating. We don't have to let people or certain individuals wanting to celebrate what it is that's not theirs. Yes, Papa is an ambassador for the country, but what about the people involved in the game with him? So I think they should take ownership of what it is in the game before allowing others to claim it.
Exactly. It's true. It's very, very important for us to celebrate people like Papa. You see, these are the kind of people that we don't value the way they're supposed to be here in this country. But when they go out, you know, and if you are lucky to go out with them, then you realize that these people are really, really celebrated outside this country. So please, let's celebrate people like Papa. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah. We will be talking about Papa later on in the program, probably when the lines are opened. But for now, let's move on to the next thing on the program, and that is why Musa is here. A lot of people have been confronting me in the streets over the past couple of weeks.
I don't know, what have you done?
Yeah, asking me, well, is Giannis going to shoot you?
What have you done?
Well, that's the price you pay for being Babakar's assistant. Babakar said what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But can gladly say that yes, the Gambia Radio and Television